In the world of basketball, there are legends from the NBA, EuroLeague, and even the Olympics. Manu Ginobili was a legend in all of them. From his wild passes to his clutch shots, he left an impact in basketball unlike any other. As one of the fiercest competitors from the opening tip to the final buzzer, let's take a look at why Manu Ginobili was an absolute beast. Before Manu became a legendary NBA player, he was much more famous internationally than in the United States. During his time abroad, he absolutely dominated his competition, and it showed in his long list of accomplishments from 1999 to 2001. He managed to win championships in both the Euro and Italian leagues, while also being named an All-Star and MVP. Despite these great achievements, a lot of people still question whether he was good enough for the NBA. Manu was overlooked and underrated by so many people that he managed to fall all the way to the second round of the 1999 draft as the 57th pick for the San Antonio Spurs. This was an odd pick for the Spurs because their play style was slow and methodical, which we know today is the complete opposite of Ginobili's game. The Spurs had a tactical approach to basketball which made you feel like Greg Popovich was playing chess instead of actually coaching an NBA team. Unsurprisingly, Manu tore that game plan apart with his flashy moves, gambling on both sides of the court. According to Greg Popovich, his bizarre playstyle was one of the main reasons his hair turned white. Oftentimes, opposing coaches had a hard time figuring out how to defend his tricky moves. On the other hand, because of his explosiveness, he had the tendency to get out of control and make his own coaching staff furious. Despite this, Popovich knew that there was something special in Manu. According to him, he learned that Ginobili was at his best when you just let Manu be Manu. Sip it and enjoy it. The tactical and methodical coach saw the beauty of Ginobili's game. Just look at this mid-game interview with Coach Pop when asked how he knew Manu would make a difference starting in the third quarter.
First half, what made you think that he could spur you starting in the third quarter?
He's Manu Ginobili.
On the court, plans and strategies don't always play out the way you want them to be, and that's when Manu's creativity shines the most. His competitiveness and drive to win, combined with his unpredictability, made him an unstoppable force. If there was one thing that was actually consistent about him, then it had to be his love for the game. He played in such a unique fashion that they called his style controlled chaos to describe his mix of both European and traditional street ball moves. Just check out how DeRozan describes this legendary moment between them, where Ginobili caught him off guard with this exact play style.
I was playing San Antonio in Toronto when I was with Toronto. It was a fast break, and me and Manu was kind of going for the ball. He got the ball, and I was trying to stop him. He threw the ball between my legs and ran around me, got the ball, and kept going. And it happened so quick to where...
As flashy as Manu was, he never really got a chance to average all-star numbers as he had to share the ball with fellow Spurs stars Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. The closest he ever came was during the 2008 season, where he won 6th Man of the Year, averaging 19.5 points per game, 4.5 assists, and 4.8 rebounds. Numbers are just part of the story, and everyone knew that Manu's impact on the game went well beyond the stats. He was always looking for ways to help his team win and played every game like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. His hustle showed when he would dive for the ball without hesitation, drive fearlessly to the basket, and sometimes even sacrifice his body for a clutch defensive play. Combine this with the patented Euro step, and you got a player who could ignite the crowd day in and day out when he was on the court. In Steve Kerr's words, Manu was like a squirrel trying to dodge traffic while he was on the court. Check it out.
Manu looks like a squirrel running through traffic trying to avoid getting hit by a car. It's like...
Even as a rookie with his mediocre minutes and stat line, Ginobili still managed to play a key role in the Spurs championship run. The best way to describe Ginobili's role on the Spurs was this: when the Spurs are in a good situation, watch Tony Parker. When the Spurs are in a bad situation, watch Tim Duncan. When the Spurs are in a desperate situation, watch Manu Ginobili. Ginobili knew what it meant to be clutch in the final moments. Just check out how during this game he literally made the game-winning play on both ends. He first makes a wild layup against 3 Denver defenders, putting them up by 1 point with 4.2 seconds left on the clock. He then follows this by a genius defensive play, taking a charge from Carmelo to end the game. Slowly but surely, Ginobili started catching attention, both from his teammates and his competitors. During Manu's first game against the Lakers as a rookie, Kobe Bryant definitely underestimated him and misjudged by saying, "Tell me about the white boy." Bruce Bowen warned Kobe not to underestimate Manu and said, "Oh, you're gonna see, he's not a white boy and he's got some stuff." And boy did he prove that he's definitely got more than just some stuff. He played a crucial part in one of the most dominant dynasties the NBA has ever seen. Greg Popovich said it best, without Manu, there were no championships. And boy, did he win a lot of them.
Without Manu, there were no championships. There were no championships.
Ginobili has 4 rings under his belt, which is far more than what many other stars have. It's clear in hindsight just how important he was to the Spurs dynasty, helping them win championships in 2003, 5, 7, and 14. But this wasn't even his most impressive feat in his career. In fact, for most fans, his greatest achievement was winning the gold medal in the 2004 Olympics. He led the Argentinian team to one of the most iconic victories in the history of sports. They managed to defeat Team USA, which was a team filled with the best NBA All-Stars since the birth of the Olympics. To give you some perspective, the 2004 USA Olympics team had players like Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, and Dwayne Wade. Manu dominated the tournament, averaging 19.3 points per game, 3.3 assists, and 4 rebounds. Prior to this, Team USA has only ever been defeated 3 times in the entire history of the Olympics. Manu's gold medal victory solidified his legacy, not only in the NBA, but in the entire basketball world. His impact was so great that during the 2008 Olympics, Kobe Bryant told the coaching staff that he wanted to guard Ginobili. And as we all know, that's how the Black Mamba showed respect to his competitors. And respect was exactly what he got. You see, during the early 2000s, the Western Conference was a bloodbath. The competition was so tight that having a star player wasn't enough. Teams who lacked depth were usually left in the dust. The Spurs needed a spark from the second unit, and Ginobili, putting the team first, agreed to come off the bench. For a player who was an Olympic gold medalist and NBA champion, this was unthinkable. But not for Manu, because the thing that always stood out about him was his selflessness. Manu spent his prime years coming off the bench. Because of this, he wasn't able to put up stats that mirrored his fellow stars, but his decision gave the Spurs an edge over most teams. That's exactly what made Manu special. For him, the team's success was far more important than his personal achievements. Despite what the stat sheets say, you can always count on him if your goal was to win games. This is proven by the fact that for most of his career, Ginobili had the highest win percentage in the entire NBA, higher than other legends such as Kobe, Duncan, or LeBron. The guy just knows how to win and play like a champion. From the moment he was drafted to his last game, Manu Ginobili embodied what it means to be a winner. And a winner is exactly how NBA stars described Manu when he announced his retirement in August 2018. Social media was filled with NBA players showing their appreciation for Ginobili, drawing praise from stars like LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Kobe Bryant. For Kobe to say that he was one of the best to ever match up against him says a lot. Manu rarely talked about his own achievements, but his illustrious career speaks for itself. He was a 4-time NBA champion, 4-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time NBA All-Star, and the list just goes on and on. At the end of the day, Manu Ginobili managed to inspire a whole new generation of hoopers with his play style and his patented Euro step. The fancy side step has become one of the most used maneuvers in the NBA today and was a move Ginobili practiced to perfection. Since then, NBA stars like James Harden have added this deadly tool to his arsenal, even going as far as describing himself to be a mix of Manu Ginobili and Paul Pierce. Others like CJ McCollum went on to describe just how hard it was to guard this deadly move, calling him the Euro Step King. Lastly, Gordon Hayward said that his jersey number was actually inspired by the legend himself. Manu has managed to influence the NBA in more ways than we know, and it's about time that he's finally getting the attention he deserves as a future Hall of Famer. As a fitting farewell for the basketball legend, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame announced that Ginobili is a candidate for the class of 2022. I guess the best way to describe Ginobili was that he was a fierce competitor, a passionate teammate, and a true champion. Manu Ginobili was an absolute beast. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you loved it, as it would help us tremendously. Do you guys have any other legends you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments below.